I talked here before about the situation with the East Timorians in Indonesia. The role that the elite of East Timor played in causing Indonesia to lose the ability to end up even in a federal system with East Timor. That East Timor could still have been part of Indonesia today, but in a loose system that allowed them to take care of their own business as much as they could and just have a loose connection with Indonesia. But the elite of East Timor kept deceiving the government of Indonesia that we are in control. These are our people, we will defeat them for you. That's exactly what the so-called elite of the Southern Cameroons of Ambazonia have been telling La République du Cameroon. That's why they have been leading this very serious, stupid war with La République du Cameroon and assuring La République du Cameroon every day that don't bother, we will help you to overcome these people. Just take a look at this. This is why, in emergence, this gentleman is a citizen of La République du Cameroon. And he says the Anglophone elites can never win a war against their people. I have said this here several times. Some people will say, this Mbakro, oh man, come on. Is he drunk again? What's wrong with him? Why is he coming here just telling stories, blah, 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 blah. Noise maker. Why is he coming here and making noise? Listen, I said it over and over. That those of you who end up constituting yourselves blacklegs, because this so-called elite deceive you that they are going to defeat their own people for La République du Cameroon and make you a lord, they are deceiving you because they themselves, they can never succeed in winning a war against their people. So citizens of La République du Cameroon have now identified the so-called elite as being people who are the ones leading the charge, leading the war against their own people. When I said it here before, people thought it was a joke. That the Fu Jonathan Mjingni, the Fu Callistus Gentries, the Atanga Ponji, all these but the Musonge, Peter Mafani Musonges, the Tabetandos, the Mbenamokitas, all of these people, that they are leading, the Muketes are leading a war against their own people. They come and deceive you that, oh, we are going to represent you, we are going to talk for you. But the citizens of La République du Cameroon, their intellectuals now know, they have now identified those who are the real warmongers, that they are the elite, the so-called elite. And now they are reminding them that you have deceived us enough. If it's time for them to understand, the better. That the Anglophone elites can never win a war against their people. And this is a lesson that they will refuse to take. Because even while that is being said, Peter Mafani Musonge and Mr. Tabetando are celebrating and saying that, yes, they are the ones who instigated the internet shutdown in Ambazonia. In January 2017, that went on for 3 good months. That they are the ones who instigated an operation which led to the deaths of a lot of their people. They prided themselves. They're celebrating. We are the ones that instigated. Because they feel that when they do this, La République du Cameroon will take them seriously, give them positions, allow them, the avenues to embezzle as much as they can, give them the possibility to position their children. Of course, you see that Mfon passes on, his son has also been appointed senator to replace him. You will find names of members of the board of directors of CDC. Among those names, you will also still find the names of children of some of this so-called elite. And the cycle goes on and on and on and on. Yeah, that's how it goes. So according to them, they believe that once this is done, I'm just trying to pick up it to try to see if I could get some of those things. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. They will just try to replicate them. So they feel that these are the goodies that they get in exchange for fighting their own people, for betraying their own people, in exchange for throwing their own people to the dogs, in exchange for mortgaging the future of the children of generations upon generations of the Southern Cameroons. In exchange, they should get this. So they celebrate, they thank themselves. Oh, we have done this here. We are the ones who instigated the internet shutdown. What did he do? Did he stop? He did not stop. The internet shutdown did not get to anywhere. And what the government of Indonesia did to the elite of East Timor, I'll come back to that. Let's just move on to see exactly how they get treated after they do all of those things. Look at this picture. Should tell you exactly the kind of stress, the kind of stress that the so-called elite have in that system. Because they are not even considered full humans. They are not considered full citizens. They are still considered sub-citizens. They are still considered sub-humans. And they are still treated as such. Even when they are in government as government ministers, they still treat them in that way. I said this. I had an experience with one of the cabinet ministers in that country. He stood there screaming CPDM every day, Paul Biya's policy vision, this and that and all of those things. Oh, one and indivisible. But he told us, he explained to me how as a minister, because he was first of all minister without a portfolio for a good number of years, minister delegate the presidency in charge of missions over the years. The way he gets given a portfolio, he now deserves a house befitting of a cabinet minister with a portfolio. And he goes to the minister in charge of housing, who's giving out housing, and is asked to wait in the waiting room for his colleague minister. And while he's waiting, a secretary of state, who is a francophone, a secretary of state, a citizen of the Republic of Cameroon, comes in and is immediately ushered into the office of the minister. And the minister comes out to receive him with smiles and everything, while this full-blown cabinet minister of Southern Cameroon's extraction is seated there and waiting tens of minutes, over almost an hour, to see his own colleague cabinet minister, while a junior person to him is received with open arms almost immediately. And when he was explaining this, I had pity for him. I could see him almost, I wanted to ask, but why can't you resign, Mr. Minister? But they don't resign in that system. Because if you do, only God alone knows what happened to you. So why am I saying this here? Look at what is happening. This is John Mute Joseph, Prime Minister, Head of Government. This is the Secretary General, Ferdinand Gongo, at the presidency. He is not even in the cabinet. He is a Secretary General to the presidency at the presidency of the Republic. Secretary General to the President of the Republic. This Prime Minister has a Secretary General at the Prime Minister's office to himself, who is even better treated than himself. But look at this. This is the Prime Minister here. Play an onlooker. Play an onlooker. Waiting patiently. Will my turn come? Will they finally say even one word to me? This is what they get in return for betraying their people. In return for leading a war against their own people in the interest of a colonial administration. Absolutely unenviable. And those of you who are playing in that league with them, your fate is the same. I said this before, and I will repeat it here over and over and over. That the elite of East Timor in Indonesia did the same thing, put up the same attitude, fought their people relentlessly. Their people lost the first time, went and gathered themselves again and came back to the charge. And when finally East Timor was declared independent, oh my goodness. Come and see those so-called elite now struggling to seek Indonesian nationality. Struggling to naturalize as Indonesians because they could not go back home. They spent their whole life fighting their people. And so how could they go back to the same people? No, they wanted to stay in Indonesia. And the government of Indonesia came to consciousness. Just like this citizen of the Republic of Cameroon has come to consciousness. Yes, this citizen of the Republic of Cameroon comes to consciousness and says that the Anglophone elite can never win a war against their people. So therefore, the government of Indonesia came to consciousness. Government people of Indonesia, they said, no, you misguided us. If you stood up with your people and you were with your people and told us that these were the true aspirations of your people, we would have found a way out. But you deceived us each time that you are close to them. That is only a tiny fraction that wants independence. It's the same thing that's being told our people every day. It's the same thing that the Musonges, the Mbelamokis, the Fru Jonathans, the Tabetandos, the John Gutes, the Atanga the Fukalitus Gentries, all of them. That's exactly what they keep telling the government of the Republic of Cameroon on a daily basis. There are just some few people, some small boys, and then some idiots abroad in the diaspora. Yes, they are the ones. Some of them like they're like a few apprentice sorcerers, like the Pajia Sangas, who are hired to and given some little bread to go around making noise. How about they go and tell them? Oh no, it's just a few misguided people in the diaspora and a few lost ones on ground zero. The majority are with us. They're with us. We're telling you, they're with us and they're with you. We're handing them to you. But they never succeed in handing over. Those are people deceiving the Republic of Cameroon. The late Christian Cardinal Kumi saw this and wanted to demonstrate to the Republic of Cameroon government in triumphant details the exact feelings of the people. Reason, he conducted a survey. And made sure on that survey, independent was not mentioned anywhere. They just said, which is the form of state you will want? Decentralization, federalism, unitary state, order. And 69% of the people went for order. And when they picked order, they said order. Explain. When they picked order, they wrote there absolute independence. I'm using the words of the late venerated Christian Cardinal Kumi. Absolute independence. 69%. And so he wanted to organize an AAC. And of course, the so-called elite would not let him. They put speed brakes because they knew that if any opportunity like that were granted, the people would disavow them again publicly. Though that's something we too did not subscribe to. But they knew. So my people of Amazon, when these people do all of this because they think they will have recognition, at the end of the day, they are bastardized. At the end of the day, they are treated the way we are seeing them treated. And so, when that is done, where do they stand? How do they explain to anyone that we say that we are in charge? A lot of them are the ones complaining all over the place. Oh, we can't go and bury our dead. We can't go for funeral ceremonies. We can't go for this and that. You can't go. You are elite, and there are people, and you are in charge, and 90% of them are with you, and you can't go to see them. Why are you running away from the same people that you claim are your people, that you are in charge, that they are with you, that they share your thoughts and your philosophy? My people of Amazon, La République du Cameroun is coming to gradual realization. I assure you.